Hey, everybody. The system is telling me that I'm live. If so, welcome. If not, welcome anyway. So, my wife and I, as we were putting away our Christmas decorations, let me turn off the volume on that guy. There we go. All right. So, as my wife and I were putting away our Christmas decorations for the year, we came across this guy right here. And my wife asked if I could reproduce this. So this was acquired from Hobby Lobby, looks like, for $16.99 and at Christmas 2023. So I wasn't really doing woodworking back then. So now she wants to know if I can make this, but she wanted to add to it. So she wants the wings to be like that. So see what we can do about that. Also, I was going to show you all some Christmas gifts that she made for me. Right there. So I've got some Pelado Creations hat now. So one in black and one in blue. So I don't have these particular designs available in the merchandise store yet, but she's supposed to help me get that done sometime soon. So if you like that design, you may be able to acquire it for yourselves at some point. There are some other merchandise, or there is other merchandise available in the store if you want something that has the Pelado Creations logo on it, just not these particular hats yet. So let me put this guy out of the way. And before I can really get going on making this, I need to clean up in here because it is messy. So let's see what I can do about doing some cleanup. All right. And welcome back to the live, everybody, because it has been a while. I was looking back. It looks like I haven't been live since before Thanksgiving. Here it is in the new year already. So move some stuff around here. So the things that I've been doing not on live is making a big mess. As you can see from the workbench, messy, messy, messy. Oh, hey, Mike. Thanks for being here, dude. Hope you're having a great new year. But all right, so I've been trying to carve a wooden spoon. It's not going particularly well, in part because mostly what I'm using is just, just a knife, and this is some maple, so it's pretty hard. So I can make some progress, but it's pretty slow going. And yeah. So a lot of the wood chips in this area are from this guy. But I think I'm going to need something else to be able to dig in and really make the hollow of the spoon. And I'll need something else to really clean this guy up and make him look good at all. But, and all right, so eggs. Why do I have eggs in here? Because I don't like things to go to waste. And so rather than just throwing out these wood shavings and wood chips and stuff, I want to make something with it. So you just clear out some of the stuff here. So the idea is that with these wood shavings, I can put them into the egg carton. And the egg carton, this one is made of cardboard, basically. And so I can just pile them in there and then pour some melted wax over the top and let it set, and then cut these all up. And then I've got some homemade fire starters. So it makes it really easy to start fires, even if it's, inclement weather and really wet conditions. You have something that'll really get your fire going. So these shavings over here that are a little more spirally, those are from the watch display case that I made for my son. So that video is out. You can check that out. That's mostly from using the block plane. So let me scoot some of this stuff out of the way. Have some new acquisitions over here that I need to do something with. And all right. Like I said, thinking to make this into some fire starters. But to really complete that, I'm going to need some wax. So what I've done in the past is just gotten some cheap like old candles from like a thrift shop, like a Goodwill store or something, and then just melted those candles. So, just get a whole bunch of candles for like $1. I guess you could also just go to the dollar store and get some cheap candles that way, melt them down. Or if you have access to cheap wax in some other way, use it. All right. So I'm going to put those out of the way for now and put these guys up there. All right, so I'm starting to have a little bit of workshop space now, but got a lot of other offcuts here to clean up. And hey, Pine Note, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. Curly Maple, is it curly? I don't know. I guess I didn't really pay that close of attention to it. Let me show you the maple that it came from. So I've got a bunch of maple down there that cut up, and I think I showed on a live stacking this stuff, but maybe not. I got it, took it over to a friend's because my bandsaw did not have the resaw capacity to handle it. And then that's not all of it. So I've got more in the kiln. So let me open that up. So I've just cut all this down to 6/4. So basically 1.5 inches thick. And so there's a sample of it. I got it from someone who was just getting rid of it. And so they were just, listed it on Facebook Marketplace. So they had already chopped it up into segments about yay long. And you can see that there's, some cracking and stuff along the edges. Part of that is because I don't know how long he'd had it sitting before I got it. And part of it was because I just put it on my back patio for a while before I actually got it, into slabs. So part of that is probably my fault, and part of it maybe it wasn't. But I'll show you another slab here. So some maple. I don't know if that's curly or not, but it's supposed to be maple. So you tell me. So I've got all of that, and then all of this. This has been drying. So I saw it at 91.5 earlier. I don't know if you can tell very well. Got my little thermostat there. So it's currently registering 84 degrees, but earlier it was at 91 before I opened it up. So, whereas the rest of the shop is probably in the 60 to 65 degree range. So, it's adding, maybe 30 degrees. And the only heat source in here is this little dehumidifier. It worked really well when I first set it up. So I dried this cherry in it. So I put this cherry in. So the cherry I had cut down to 5/4, so a little bit thinner than this stuff by 1/4 inch. But in less than 2 weeks, I had the cherry all dry. But the cherry was also in thinner strips. It came in thinner strips because the branches and logs basically that I cut that cherry down from were, maybe, 5, probably no more than 6 inches because the capacity on my bandsaw is just 6 inches. So probably smaller than that. The dehumidifier worked really well, extracting the fluid, extracting the water, drying it all out. But this has taken a little bit longer. But and when I put them in, they weren't as fresh, weren't as wet. But you can see like this one registering at 5, between 5 and 7. Oh, had an 8.3 there. So that's dry enough for me. So I want to take these guys out of the kiln. And I'll probably put this stuff in the kiln, this stuff down below. Probably put that stuff in the kiln. I just need to figure out where I'm going to put the stuff that's in the kiln right now. Let's see. Where should I put it? One thing I should do is clean up the rest of the mess in here. Although I'm just going to make another mess. So does it really matter if I'm cleaning up that much? All right, so I've got a lot of pencil shavings down here, probably from my daughter, because she likes to shave pencils, I guess. So let me just sweep some of that up. And I've got some shavings over here near my bench. that also come from that maple spoon that I've been trying to carve. So if I've got room, I can probably just shove all this into my egg cartons as well. This isn't all wood shavings, but most of it is. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see if I can fit that into my egg carton. Mostly, it seems. All right. Good times. All right. So put the broom away. And I'll try to collapse this guy in. All right. So plenty of shavings there to help make some good wood starter or fire starters. All right. So clear that crap out of the way. Put some cleaner back where it belongs over here. Glue over there. Got some bunch of sanding supplies that maybe have some life left to them. My strop. I was using that a lot on the knife as I was trying to carve the willow spoon. And that was kind of a silly project there. All right. All right. So all right, let's vacuum off the rest of the wood workshop bench here. All right. So now I've got a little bit more of a surface to be able to work with. So let me find my angel. And she wants it to be something like that. So I need to find some stock that will be wide enough, because I think this was probably made from a 2x4. Actually, it looks like it's something wider, because that's nearly 4 inches. But she wants it to go another 2 inches beyond here. And so then it would also need to go another 2 inches on the other side. And so I'm going to need it to be 8 inches wide. And just an inch and a half thick. Yeah, inch and a half thick. So let's see what I've got. Got a bunch of stuff up there that could work. That stuff is probably close to 12 inches, maybe 11 and a half, 12 inches wide. And let's see, the one up here, that might be 8 inches. So that could be a good one to use. Then I may have some stuff over there that could work too. But I think for this, I think I want to try the stuff up there. So let me get up there. To do that, I'm going to get a ladder. I'm going to try to clear the path for the ladder. The nice thing about having all of your stuff on wheels is that you can move stuff around. The bad thing about having it all on wheels is that you kind of have to move it all around all the time. So I don't really have a dedicated spot for anything in particular. All right. So I think I've cleared path for the ladder here. All right. Hopefully I don't die while trying to access this. If I do, please send flowers to my widow. And here we go. Oh, actually the piece on top here might work. Looks like I've previously taken chunks out of that, or actually, I think this was probably how I got it. This was likely salvaged from some old shipping containers. So that's probably just how they used it. So I'm going to put that down here. And let me see if I can access this other board just in case. that should be wide enough, at least on this top side where my hand is. The bottom side seems to be quite a bit narrower, so that might not be wide enough. So we'll see. Hey, I didn't die yet. So that over here. Oh, that's got quite a bit of damage to it there. This side looks a little cleaner, although looks like we've got some foam or something there that's from the some packaging materials or something. So I'll see if that's worth trying to clean up. I think I can safely put the ladder away for now. I think we've got something that'll work. So we've got some knots in there and a big knot there. Let's see. And all right, so I think we were aiming for at least 8 inches wide. So we've got 11 inches there, got 9 inches there. But we're going to have enough usable space on this one. I don't really want to go this direction because I want the grain to be running the height rather than going across. I think that would look better, even if she does some sort of a paints it somehow so the grain isn't really that noticeable. I think I'd rather have the grain visible. So if I were to do it on this side, I wonder if I can, because this base is attached to this somehow. I don't know if it's glued in, I'm presuming. As I just try to pull, I don't really feel any movement, and I don't really want to break it. But there's a pretty good sized gap there, so it's not like they. Oh, I see. Oh, looks like that might have been hot glued. I don't know if you can see the shininess there. Huh. I wonder if they used wood glue and hot glue, maybe dowels or something in there, but they've got kind of a felt bottom, so they might have put some screws through and some hot glue, and who knows what they did. But it'd be nice if I could just remove that, because then it'd be easier for me to mark this out. What if, nope, that's not going to work. Okay. All right. So I think that would work. So let's see. That's Let me see why. Let me get a different ruler here. Okay, let's see if those match up. I think that's pretty close to same distance. Am I looking at that right? Ah, looks like that wing might actually stick out a little bit further. Let's do it this way. Okay, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. And I mean, this isn't a square side here, but I'm kind of treating it as if it were. And looks like I didn't really lock that in very well. Yeah, so it's a little bit further in, that is. All right. So I just assumed that I need at least 2 inches to the edge. That gets me to right about there. You know what? I'm going to chop this guy off so that I've got a nice clean edge here that I'm working with instead of trying to mark this the way I'm trying to mark it right now. So let's look up the miter saw. All right. Again, everything on wheels. Is good and bad. This is the jig that I used to cut the maple on the bandsaw at my friend's house. So I just screwed this guy into the maple log, and then ran this along the fence, and it worked pretty well. And I tried to make it so that it would work on my bandsaw too. So it's no more than 6 inches tall. I think it's 5 something. So kind of helps you envision. Just kind of runs like that, and cuts off a slab, and then you just adjust the fence over. Run it through again, cut your slabs. So little jig there for slabbing your logs on the bandsaw. And just throw that guy over there for now. The bandsaw out of the way. Get the table saw out of the way. And guess I could use the table saw. Just use the crosscut sled. but I'm in the mood to use the miter saw today for some reason. So let's do it. It's a bit of a mess. So I've got the lid pieces that I cut wrong for my watch display case, along with excess from the base and my test piece. My Milescraft Grabber Pro that I accidentally ran through the table saw. So that was good. And let's see. All right. And I'm going to clear out some of the offcuts here. Hopefully nothing impedes my progress as we go. Got a lot of little stuff there. All right. And hook up my hook up the dust collection. And I'm going to need to raise that guy a bit. That might be enough. And there we go. Let's see. All right. Okay, so plug him in, get some eye protection, some ear protection. Try to give you the best view in the house. Actually, let me see if I can. There we go. All right. And I'll turn on the dust collection and I'll turn on the miter saw. So it might get a little loud. All right. Nice smooth cut. That should work. All right. And I just looked at the chat on the phone that I'm using as the recording device, and it seems to be showing a lot more chat than what I was seeing on the computer here that I'm only have open so that I can monitor chat. So looks like I was missing a ton of activity here. Sorry, guys. Cedar Growbox, thanks for being here. What it do? Did you spit on it? I don't remember what that would be asking about. What I spat on or didn't spit on. Let's see. Whoa. I backed into my stacks of maple. Good job. Good job, Pelado. Way to go. Very impressive. All right, let me catch up on chat. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I've been ignoring you. I just didn't realize you were there. All right. Did I spit on it? I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what you're referring to. Nice hat. Thank you. I like it. Got to hit the. Hey, much love. All right. Don't forget to smash the like button. Agreed. Good to see you. Past my bedtime, but dropping a like. Thanks. Hey, Billy. Thanks for being here. And the missus is doing well, just in case you're wanting to inquire. She's doing well enough that she gave me some instructions on how to make this how she wants it made. So let's see. So Billy, random builds and rebuilds. Thanks for being here. Sorry, it was on full screen. Timber, yeah. Yep, exactly. Glad she's doing well. Yep. Yeah, me too. I am also glad she's doing well. All right, so now that I've got a clean edge on that, that should make it a lot easier to mark things out on here. And of course, now I need to clear out some space for myself by moving all these wheeled machines right by where I spilled the stacked maple. So I'm just gonna pile this stuff up a little bit and not worry exactly about how it's supposed to be stacked, but just kind of get it out of the way for the moment so that I'm not injuring myself or damaging anything. So, all right. Okay, so I have her out like this. I need at least 2 inches, I think. Yeah, more than 2.5, maybe. Not going to hurt too much if I've got too much space, right? As long as I've got enough room on the opposite side, that should be enough mostly. I'm a little worried about hitting that knot because this is going to get down to that area. So I'm going to make it less than 2.5. Say about 2.25. 2.25. All right. Okay. And all right, so that gives me outline of the angel. My pencil there is not thin enough to get into the recesses there. So let me see if I've got thinner pencil in here somewhere. I know I used to, but where did it go? I'll just use a pen. Although it looks like a pen isn't really going to help me there either. So I'm just going to have to wing it. All right. And yeah, I'm doing well, Random. Thanks for asking. All right, let me just make sure I've got that marked. All right, and then my idea is cut this out on the bandsaw. All right, so now that I've got that, let me find some skizzers I should have over here, but it looks like I've knocked over. So not exactly the greatest of scissors, but yeah, it'd be nice if these were higher quality scissors. All right, that should work. All right. So then I'm going to go oh, okay. So then I just reverse this to the other side. All right. That gets me pretty much to where think I'm supposed to be. I think I'm a little bit off as to how I placed this guy versus how I placed this guy. But I don't like that that's bordering on the on the uh, on that knot right there. I'd rather have the knot either entirely inside or entirely outside. So I'm going to try redoing this side. I'll just use my eraser. All right. Okay, and that point. All right, so at that point, I've got 1 inch between there and there. That seems just about right. I think that should work. Let's see. No, I had more. Call it right around there. Okay. Okay. All right. And all right, let's okay. All right. So I think we're ready to take it to the bandsaw. All right. So I just need to set up the bandsaw. So we'll move our miter saw out of the way. And in comes our bandsaw. All right. We've got a little homemade adapter here. Just used an old plastic bottle from some probably like a water bottle or something similar, and used a heat gun, adjust it down to the size I needed. So it works with my Centec system, and this is the 2.5-inch adapter. So, all right. Still got my eye protection on. I'll get my ear protection. I'm going to move my fence out of the way. This is just a homemade fence. And that should get us pretty close to where we want to be. So I will try to get you as close to the action as I can. Me by raising you up a little bit and angling you down a little. So hopefully that gives you a nice clean view of what we're going to try to do here. So, all right. I think my first step is going to be cutting this off here. Actually, I think I'll go from over there so that I'm not just cutting in over here unnecessarily. So, all right, let's try it. I'm just worried that I'm going to have issues with some clearance over here, but maybe my concerns are unfounded. All right, let's see what we got. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to adjust the guide on this so that I have just enough clearance. There we go. So that should give me a lot better control on the blade. So I'm just going to try tightening that a little more so it doesn't fall while I'm going. So I've lost maneuverability here. So I'm going to back this out. There we go. Right. And I think I should have just cut like that as I was talking about earlier. So I think if I just cut along there, that should work. Let's try it. Have pieces of the knot falling out here, causing me some problems. Forgot to look at how that knot was positioned relative to everything else. So I think for the most part, we're going to miss it, but might need to do a little sanding on the side. All right. That's what it looks like so far. I'm going to clean up a little bit right in here, up here, over there. All right. Probably cleaned it up a little bit too much there, but yeah, I think it's looking respectable for the most part. All right. What do you guys think? How's that looking so far? And perhaps more importantly, how does it compare to the original. Which do you like better? Hey, hey Billy. Oh, looks like my computer is not tracking the chat again. I don't know what they do, what's going on there, but oh, looks like we had Todd in here for a bit. So, been good. All right. Well, sorry I missed you, Todd. All right, Billy. Thanks for being here, even if everyone else is in bed. All right. So let's see. I think my next step is let's see. I think probably I should try to sand my edges because the bandsaw does leave it pretty rough. And then I was thinking to do a round over. And I'm not exactly sure if I want to try to mimic that. Obviously, a round over bit isn't going to work there. I might have to chisel to get that kind of an effect. So I'm not sure if I want to try that. And my chiseling skills aren't all that great, but so I think I'll sand it on the edges and then try to do a round over, at least on the body and the head. She might want to try leaving the wings without being rounded over. So see how that works. And all right. So clear off a bunch of the scrap here. I'll just make a mess somewhere else. All right. Okay. So for this stuff, that may be flat enough to use the random orbital, although I'm not going to be able to get very far in there. But I think I'll probably have to use sandpaper by hand for most of the rest of it, which is discouraging. All right. Let's see what I've got here. It's a 180. Let's try to use up some of these. Some of these over here. Start with 80. Connect my dust extraction. Plug it in. There we go. All right, so on this back side, I did just a little bit of a round over with the sander, just so I'm less likely to get some splinters along the way. Then I tried to get what I could with the power sander, just reducing how much I need to sand it by hand. All right. So all right. Let's see if I can get much further in here. All right. Let's see if I can utilize some of this oak to get, oh, that might be a little too thick still. Making some progress there. Let's see. I wonder if I connect this to some double-sided tape, if that'll help this stuff stick a little better. Yeah, that seems to be working a lot better.
It's like my wings is a lot lower here than here. Didn't really notice it too much on the other side, but doesn't seem as noticeable here. But on the back side, it does. Must not have been cutting straight up and down there.
am definitely not a big fan of having to sand in these tight spots. It's not the easiest to get those smoothed out. All right. So definitely have some imperfections. I was hoping to be able to, I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but got a little bit of a crack here. I was hoping I could sand down far enough to lose it, but don't really seem to be able to. Maybe if I go a little bit further, but probably. But you know what? Once I'm planning to do a round over here anyway, so that'll probably take that off anyway. So I'm not going to worry about it. So my round over is going to go around the head and around the body here, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to make some kind of delineation here, like on this angel from Hobby Lobby. So. And then this also has a little bit of a marker for the waist where the star is tied around. So, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do something along the neck and there, like on this one, but I think I am going to do a round over here and around the head at least. So, normally I would sand beyond 80, but I'm kind of tired of sanding. So that might be as much as this one gets. As I continue sanding, of course. Yeah, not sticking nearly as well. All right, I should do a lot more sanding, but I'm tired of sanding. So I'll just move on to the next step, even though I shouldn't. All right. So we'll move the bandsaw out of the way again. And bring out the router table. All right. And, excuse me. All right. Got the fence for the router table. And I think I need to switch out the bit. Let's see here. Oh, want to take it out by feel, but it's been a while. So there we go. There we go. All right. So right now I have a chamfer bit in there. So let me see here. Which wrenches am I supposed to use for this? So, yeah, there we go. All right. Chamfer bit removed. And let's see. Let's do. Oh, that's not going to fit in there. Do a round over bit. And oh, it's not going to fit because I've got collet adjustment stuck to the router bit. So this is a 1/4 inch shaft, but this is a 1/2 inch collet. So I've got a collet reducer here that is sticking to the bit. So just finish removing that. All right. I can go on there. I can go on there. You want a little bit of space between the base of the router bit and your collet. I'm just going to tighten that by hand. And then tighten it by wrench. But I don't want to over tighten it. Who knows how much is over tightened. But anyway. All right. So now I'll put it back in to the router table. And going to raise this up. And it actually won't go up as much as I need it to, so I need to raise it to there we go. And then I think I'm actually going to lower it a little bit. Raise that up a little bit more. Okay. Now, because of the size of my bearing, I am not going to be able to get this all the way into these tight corners. So I'm going to have to find a different way to get those parts rounded over. So, all right, let's give it a try. And the way this setup works is got this homemade router table fence with built-in dust collection. So there's my hose. Take that out, take that out, plug that in, plug that in, and then push that. And I'm going to bring my fence a little closer. Even though my fence isn't locked down, I just want this to be as close as possible to where I'm cutting so that I can get good suction to take away the dust and chips and everything. So this is my front face. This is my back face. I know this is the back face because I've got this imperfection here from the knot. And so I want this to be my front, even though I've got a knot over here that, you know, doesn't look the prettiest, but if we need to, we can fill that in a little bit. And I don't know if she's, you know, this is for my wife, my project for my wife. So I don't know if she's planning to paint it or what she wants to do, but for those of you who weren't here when we started, she's wanting to do something similar to this that she got from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. But she wanted it to have bigger wings. So let's see what this looks like. So we'll run it along here. And we'll run it along here. Not sure how well that's going to work, but this we'll find out as this thing tries to give me slivers. All right, well, let's give it a try. So, plug the router in, got the vacuum already plugged in. So, here we go. Let's see how I can damage it now. You know what? That actually looks somewhat decent. And obviously, in here, I'd like to round that over some more. In here, couldn't get quite as deep in there as I wanted, but overall, not too terrible. So, be a little bit of a step back here. So, compare it to that angel. Hmm. So, I'm gonna All right. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to get out some different chisels. All right. We'll start with the 1/2 inch. Using the old mallet here. All right, I'm going to go down a size here. So from 1/2 inch to 3/8. And let's take it down to 1/4 inch, I believe. All right, everybody, which do you think looks better? Do you think the original from Hobby Lobby looks better, or the reproduction with the larger wings? Which angel looks better to you? Reproduction or original? Obviously, I haven't put the base on here yet, and I haven't tied a star on, and I haven't done any kind of finish like this, but let me know in the chat, what do you think looks better? This is 120. I was previously sanding with 80 grit. All right. There we go. Which one looks better? Well, Sorry for getting my hand covering up things there a little bit. We can This is the original from Hobby Lobby. This is the one with the expanded wings that my wife wanted. So obviously this hasn't been finished in any way, and I haven't embellished it with any stars or a base. But let me know in the comments, in the chat, what you think looks better. And if you like this content, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm going to call it good. So let me know in the chat what you prefer, and then I'll tell my wife whether or not making this thing was worth it. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night. Catch you next time.